Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today's episode is going to be filled with lots of things, lots of news, and we hope you all enjoy it. So let's get straight into it. First topic of today is going to be all of the Packers news going on. Davante Adams stopping contract negotiations, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is still not there. So, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Aaron Rodgers was in the Bahamas for a little while, now he's holding out from the team. So, and many people don't think he's actually going to come back before the season and won't play the games. I personally think he will come back because he wants like $40 million that he's getting paid. But apparently, Adam Schefter said that he actually declined a contract that would make him the highest paid quarterback in the entire NFL.
It was a 2-year extension, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean...
I want that money.
I
don't care what team I'm playing for. I want that money.
Even if it's like the worst team in the NFL, I'm like, hey, they're offering me this much money. I'm going to take the contract. I mean, the Packers must have screwed up so badly.
It's not like the Packers are like the Texans, a terrible team.
Yeah.
No, the Packers are
they were just in the NFC
13-win season team, in a contender for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was saying NFL Finals for a second.
NFL Finals.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, the Packers go to the NFC Championship almost every year. I mean, it's traditional for them to lose, but still. So Davante Adams is halting contract negotiations, so it's possible that he is no longer a Packer. So, where do you think Aaron could go and where do you think Davante could go? Aaron, I still think, is going to stay a Bronco. Davante?
Stay a Bronco.
Well, I think he's like my last time I thought he was going to go to the Broncos. Davante, I think if the football team got him, that's a playoff team.
I know I think they're a playoff team anyway.
Mhm.
Because
the NFC East.
They're terrible. Any team in the NFC East gets Aaron Rodgers, they're a playoff team because no one else can beat them.
Mhm.
But Davante Adams, it's like the Texans situation with Sean Watson. They wanted to trade him away from their conference so they don't have to play him. So I think they might try to trade Aaron Rodgers to the AFC because it'd make their path a little bit easier and not have to play him.
I feel so the Broncos are NFC, right? No, they're AFC because they're in the same division as the Chiefs.
Yes.
And then football team obviously NFC because
Yes.
NFC least. So what AFC team
NFC best.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think Davante could follow Aaron to the Broncos, or can the Broncos not afford that?
The package for that would be crazy because they would do the same.
I'd be like 5 first-round picks: Courtland Sutton, Von Miller, and Drew Lock.
They would have to trade every possible thing.
But I think it's worth it because then that's a Super Bowl team.
That is worth it for them. I think the Packers would want to split the two up because it just makes the Broncos that good. I think they are going to try to trade Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams separately. But I think they want to keep Davante Adams because he just had like a record-breaking season.
I mean, they want to keep Aaron.
Yeah, but
that's not happening. I don't know why, but what if Davante Adams goes to the Chargers?
That would make the Chargers.
I mean, they swap Davante for Keenan Allen and 2 firsts.
I mean, the Chiefs are in the AFC West, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So, but then if they are, then it would be the AFC best because then they would have if they have Aaron Rodgers on the Broncos and Davante Adams, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen on the Chargers. No, AFC West or best.
Then the Raiders are just gonna get bullied.
Oh, the Raiders! But the Raiders have like The Raiders are still a playoff team, or in most things. because they got Darren Waller and Derek Carr that I think can
And then
still
they have
become
Josh
things.
Jacobs.
Yeah.
So
those are 4 of the best teams in the AFC.
So Titans obviously not going to trade for them. Let's just go through the AFC teams. Jaguars.
No, Trevor Lawrence.
They'd have to give up a bit, but they're in rebuild mode, so I think it'd be worth it. Colts.
Trevor Lawrence is the next future.
Colts, I don't think would do it, just because I think they're fine with their core right now.
Yeah.
Texans, I think they don't know what they're doing at all right now. You have Brandon Cooks, just don't really worry about
Texans
it.
are like EA monkeys in a warehouse.
Yeah, they have no clue what's happening. Steelers.
Definitely, I can see that happening.
Really?
I can see that happening.
Just get rid of Juju.
They have no cap space, but I can see that happening. Cause if they can find a way to clear up their cap, which seems like every NFL
just get rid of Ben.
They could. I think that they're also going into rebuild mode, but they also getting him would take them out of rebuild mode.
Browns would be elite, I would say.
Browns. How do you start?
If you have Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr.
The talent would be.
And
great.
Davante Adams.
Bengals, no.
Bengals, yeah, no. Ravens,
no.
I think they need that wide receiver.
Maybe Davante Adams, but no. Aaron Rodgers. They like Lamar.
Oh yeah, but I think they could get Davante Adams.
Yeah, I can see that, but what would they trade up? Marquise Brown?
Get rid of Marquise.
You need to get rid of Marquise.
Well, no, I don't think they could do that.
Boykin?
I think you'd have to get rid of some defensive players. Calais Campbell, maybe.
Yeah.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, that'd be a good pick.
Because you know how good that make the Packers D-line with Zadarius Smith and Kenny Clark?
The Smith Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And having that
Kenny Clark.
Their D-line would be the best.
I think that's a trade where...
Their D-line would be better than the Washington football team.
And the Steelers. I think that's a trade where both teams win.
Yes.
So I can see that happening. Jets, I think that's what they need. I think that would help out Zach a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen. It would help. I don't think it will happen.
Patriots? No money.
Doesn't seem like Bill Belichick's thing to do.
Yeah, no. I don't feel like he just makes blockbuster trades.
He doesn't.
That's not Patriot way. Dolphins. I think that could happen.
The quarterback thing, maybe getting rid of Tua. I think they've kind of like silenced the doubts and not bring back Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, yeah, because he's on the football team now.
Yeah, but since they didn't bring him back, I think they silenced the doubts that they believe in Tua.
Mm-hmm.
But because they could have just brought him back and just said Tua, he's been better. But I don't think they'll trade for Davante Adams.
I think they will.
Well,
name a wide. Wait, actually no, because
they have Jalen Waddle now.
And they have Davante. Forgot his last name. Parker.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. Cause two Davantes.
Yeah.
The Davante.
That's like what the Texans were trying to do with D. Johnson.
The Johnsons.
D. Johnson. Hey, go cover D. Johnson. Which one? Wide open touchdown. It's Bill O'Brien's master plan. Last AFC team, the Bills. Not gonna happen. Stephon Diggs and Davante Adams. Yeah. The Packers are not dumb enough to do that.
They wouldn't care.
That would be the most dumb move.
Do you know what it is? The Bill Belichick way, though? Bill Belichick way is to think he's that good, that he knows everything, and he ended up dropping Chandler Jones. Yeah? He dropped Chandler Jones. We picked him up in 2 times. Like, I don't think he won Defensive Player of the Year, but now since like 2014, he's led the NFL in sacks.
I think he's the most underrated player in the NFL.
Yeah, since like 2014, J.J. Watt and him are number 1 and number 2 in sacks since like 2014.
Nick Bosa still holds the record for most pressures in a Super Bowl as a rookie with holding penalties.
Still losing.
Next topic. DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to make you sad. So here is what DeAndre Hopkins tweeted. He since then deleted the tweet, but this is what he said, and I quote, "Never thought I would say this, but being put in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in the vaccine is making me question my future in the NFL," end quote. So what are your initial thoughts? Like, after you hear that, what do you think?
Stop being a diva receiver and trying to get every single person to like you and just go play football, because we know it's not going to happen. He's not retiring. He's not getting traded because he just signed like he's like 5 years left on his contract.
Seriously?
We extended him for 3 or 4 extra years.
Fair.
Yeah.
Or Jason Verrett. Actually, no. Jason Verrett covered him really well.
They traded him because he wasn't getting his contract, and he was mad about that. And then immediately we just gave him a 3-year extension. Yeah. And he already had 2 years left on his deal. So now we got 5. We had him we're gonna at least have him for 5 or 6 years.
So
you're not going anywhere, Diop.
I think
go play for Kyler.
I think if they lose Deandre, Super Bowl window is closed. Not that it's so well. The NFC West is literally the hardest division in all of football.
Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers go to the same division. That is the new division.
Yeah, but so say if any team is going to have like all 4 teams in the division go make the playoffs, it's the NFC West.
Yes, definitely.
It's not even close. So if the Cardinals were in a different division, I'd say they're high playoff contenders. Since they're in the NFC West, I don't think they are. If they lose Deandre, I think they're easily the worst team in the NFC West.
I would agree with that.
Unless Stafford retires. But that'll probably be in like 3 years. I think Stafford and Deandre could both retire at the same time. Do you see that happen?
Deandre's got at least 8 years left. 6, 7 years left.
How old is he?
28. He's like 28.
No way he's 28. I thought he was like 34.
No.
How old is DeAndre Hopkins?
We're so professional.
He's 29.
He's not that old.
What?
He's 1 year older than Davante Adams.
How old is Matthew Stafford? He's probably 30.
33. Yes,
Yeah.
they're not retiring at the same time.
Yeah, no. So I'd say the Rams would become worse than the Cardinals before the Cardinals become worse than everybody else.
Yeah, and
unless Stafford does what Brady does.
I'm always going to be high on a team, but I think the Cardinals. We're not there yet. We need one more piece, 2 more.
What's the piece though? I mean, you lost Mason Cole, so that's why you're going to lose now.
Oh, you don't remind me. Oh wait, what quarterback did we sign to save our franchise?
Nate Sudfeld? No, he's on the 49ers.
No, oh well. But we got a great third-string quarterback. He's gonna save our franchise.
I think Josh Rosen, it's his make or break year.
I
think Josh Rosen starts a preseason game and absolutely balls out, and we trade him for 2 first-round picks.
It still amazes me how Mason Cole is the only center in the NFL that has found ways to impress me based off his ability to get false starts. When he knows when he is going to snap the ball, he's like, okay, so I'm gonna move before I actually move the ball. Got it, guys?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, I get the receivers doing it, not looking at the ball. Left tackle, they can't look at the ball or something.
Mm-hmm.
You're snapping the ball. You know what is happening.
I mean, let's not make fun of him. Maybe he has, dementia.
No, he doesn't. He's getting paid millions and millions of dollars.
Is he the starter on the Vikings?
Yes, he's going to be. That's it.
Poor Viking. I mean, the Vikings should be so happy. So, yeah, we were talking about this, about the Cardinals wide receiver situation. DeAndre, obviously, number 1. You said AJ Green, number 2, and then Christian Kirk.
But now that I think about it, it might be Christian Kirk, number 2.
And Rondale Moore, 3.
He better play. They said he actually has great. He's at crazy speed.
Oh yeah.
So,
him and
they were saying he's not Tyreek Hill.
Nobody.
But
is.
he's like Henry Ruggs. He's got that kind of speed. That'd be great for let's do some touch passes or something. Get in the ball. Get in the ball.
And Christian Kirk.
Quick slants. He's not crazy fast, but he's.
Wait, who's Andy Isabella? I mean.
Yes. Yeah, but.
That's gonna stretch the field.
He hasn't developed into anything. Can't catch.
I think AJ Green's gone in 2 years.
He got tracked down. Andy Isabella got tracked down. He was right in the open field and he got tracked down. How fast are you to get tracked down?
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next topic, and this one, we know so much about. We are both experts in this field.
Yes.
The Seattle Kraken were added to the NHL, and up until now, I thought Kraken was pronounced Kraken. So that shows how much I know.
Yes.
About the name, the team. I turn on the draft
Or hockey.
I know nothing about hockey. I turned on the draft for maybe 10 minutes. I was so puzzled because they were choosing who was drafted off an octopus moving, and behind it was a card. I was so confused.
So here's all I know about the draft. Basically, all I know about hockey. Marshawn Lynch is a good entertainer.
I just know people get in fights and it's entertaining.
Marshawn Lynch is a good entertainer. He's my boy, whoever was drafted, I didn't care about that part. Marshawn Lynch is entertaining.
What I heard was, so basically how the expansion draft works is each team that's already in the NHL gets to protect 3 players.
That was a lot more.
And I don't know the exact number. Maybe it's 5 or 10. And then the Kraken go through and basically just do practice squad stealing. Which, honestly, to me, that doesn't seem like the best way.
That's what would happen in the NBA if it happened, and that's what would happen in the NFL.
But then they're never going to have, any stars. It's just going to be an all-around okay team.
Did you know about the Knights, Las Vegas Knights? Heard about them?
I know they got added, but I don't know much.
So they got added, they did the same expansion draft, and they ended up actually making it, or I think...
But didn't they make the playoffs?
I think they won it. The Stanley Cup Finals, their first year.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so...
Good to know. So, Kraken, I would wish you luck, but I hate Seattle teams with a burning passion.
Seahawks.
So, I hope y'all lose.
It's mostly just the Seahawks.
Well,
You don't got any other sports teams, don't worry.
I actually, I don't like the Mariners. I do like the Supersonics, though. But they don't exist anymore. They're now the Thunder.
Yeah. Such a Supersonics is such a better name.
I know.
Sonic posters.
The Seattle Supersonic, and they had okay, kind of cool jerseys as well.
Yeah.
My favorite.
The green.
My favorite throwback is the Memphis Grizzlies.
My favorite jersey are the Suns ones. The
Valley ones.
Yeah, and I do really like the Heat ones where it goes from
the gradient.
Yeah, it goes from pink or
pink to blue.
Blue.
Yeah. Next topic, on the topic of basketball.
It's gonna be a long one. Hard one to talk.
The Utah Jazz.
Definitely.
No,
one
okay.
cares.
The Phoenix Suns. We're gonna start off with Suns versus Lakers series. So this is when I kind of started watching, and
when we forced you to watch because we were winning when you watched.
Yep. Yeah. So I remember that Anthony Davis was out for a bit, and LeBron cannot carry a whole team. That's what I learned.
He can, just not anymore.
Not anymore. But I'm going to cut ahead really quickly. A lot of people are saying, the only reason we were in the playoffs is because every team we played had an injured player. What do you say about that? What do you say about that?
Don't care. There was so many injuries this year, and Chris Paul got injured. Devin Booker broke his nose. I don't care how they're saying that it's just because of injuries. No, it's not just because of injuries. The Bucks kind of made it past because of the Nets having James Harden and Kyrie Irving out for the last game. Well, and if Kevin Durant's toe hadn't just been on the line,
his foot wasn't so big,
they would have advanced. So no, it's not just because of that. No one's saying that for the Bucks. The Lakers, they're definitely the team that probably gave us the biggest scare, in my opinion.
Really?
I think so. The Clippers.
I think the Clippers.
I would say the Lakers because you always had that feeling of LeBron had a chance, and the Clippers were never winning in the series though. The Lakers were winning. They won game 2 and game 3 to get to 2-1.
Those are the games I didn't watch.
And then we just closed them out. and then we just closed them out for game 3, 4, and 5. Wait, no, 4, 5,
anything
6.
else you want to talk about Suns versus Lakers? I mean, how different do you think it would have been if Anthony Davis was healthy?
I think we still would have won. Honestly, I do believe we still would have ended up beating them because
I think Aiden would have had to step up, but
definitely.
otherwise.
Anthony Davis had been in and out of injuries, and LeBron can just go complain more about how long or how you guys didn't have enough break. So?
Just don't be so good.
Yeah, be worse next year.
So then you don't have to play as much.
You can't complain next year that you didn't have enough break. You had a good amount of break.
You were just filming Space Jam, dude. Like,
yeah,
that's your break.
Yeah, you're spending your break filming Space Jam, not relaxing.
Yeah. Suns versus the Nuggets.
That was a fun series.
That was just broom emoji.
So what I ended up doing for that series is, when I was very sad after we got eliminated the Bucks. I went back and watched every single Suns versus Suns versus Nuggets game in the series. That was just fun. That was fun to see how terrible they were compared to us. We were the better team that series. They didn't have basically that great of a chance.
Do you think Jokic still deserves MVP?
Yes.
Yes.
He was that good this year.
Just could not carry them.
He was so good this year. And once Jamal Murray went out, they went on a run. When your second best player gets eliminated, you don't go on a 9-1 or 9-1
wow.
in over 10 games span. That's not what you do. They got better when your second best player comes out. Not what happens. But
that's kind of odd.
That's what Jokic does.
Okay. Suns versus the Clippers.
Yeah. We started off very good versus the Clippers. And it was a great feeling when we did end up finishing them off. Game 6 was fun to watch. You could go back and watch the last fourth quarter and
last 2 minutes is all that matters in basketball.
Kind of. But in that game, it was already over by then. But it was just fun. It's fun to watch when it's the Suns. They're a good team that moves the ball around. And the Clippers, their small ball gave us some trouble. Dude,
I just did not like Beverly.
No one does. There's no one in the world that should like Beverly.
There's some players that just watching them play or somewhat knowing their personality, they're the villain. That's Beverly.
And Beverly embraces that. He likes being
back in the day, that was Richard Sherman. That's how he felt.
Beverly started pumping out the crowd after he pushed Chris Paul to the ground.
I mean, yeah, that's really Richard Sherman back in the day. That's Legion of Boom Richard Sherman.
Yeah, it's illegal to push someone. You're going crazy. I did this. Let's go.
Yay! Secret achievement. So we get a win now, right?
No. You still get sent home.
Ejected.
You still get sent home. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Go train some more in the off-season and go push some people.
I remember we were all texting about how he threw his jersey into the stands, and we were talking about...
Go burn it.
How we were debating whether we would burn the jersey or sell the jersey.
And then he's going to say, I want the money.
Yeah. I mean, I think the money would be nice, but it would also be funny to burn it.
Yeah, that would be... Jason's like, YouTube video.
That would get some views, honestly. I think Terrence Mann far exceeded expectations.
Yes. He was great in Clippers vs. Jazz series.
Paul George, I just feel bad because all he's going to be remembered for is those missed free throws when, realistically, he played very, very well. But what do you think the Clippers would have been like if they had Fungi Kawhi? Kind of the same question as Nuggets and Lakers.
I think the Clippers would have guessed with Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a difference maker. I think they would have ended up getting on us, and I think they would have beat us early. I was when you know that Paul George is not bad when you talking to him. But I was saying when Giannis was going to the free throw line, be like Paul George. Be like Paul George.
Yeah. I mean, the value was so cool. I have a T-shirt of it. Of course, it came like towards the end of the
once
Bucks
the NBA Finals
series.
is over.
Yeah, so let's just say Clippers. Let's do it like this. So Chris Paul cancels out Kawhi. Let's just say that. And Booker cancels out Paul George. Just theoretically.
Okay.
Theoretically.
Okay.
Those guys cancel it out. You still have to worry about Terrence Mann and Beverly.
Yes.
Are you going to say Mikal Bridges and...
yes.
And what's his name?
Campaign?
No, not Campaign.
Cam Johnson?
He's
Jay
the...
Crowder?
Yes.
Yep.
He's the Derrick Henry
They
of the
def-
NBA. I don't think they cancel him out.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I think McAlbury, Terrence Mann is slightly better. Jay Crowder's better than Patrick Beverly. He is. And then you're forgetting Deandre Ayton, too. Who's a better player
True.
than they are.
But he's not perimeter.
I know, Deandre Ayton's a better player than Victor Zubac. He is.
Zubas, yeah.
And then you got the literally laziest player in the entire NBA in DeMarcus Cousins. He doesn't move. He just pointed at Chris Paul to go guard him. He's doing some moves.
Go guard him, man. I'm
He-
making sure the hoop doesn't fall on us.
He doesn't move from the paint. He doesn't move from the 3-point line. You can see he runs from one side to the other, standing still, and then he gets like 15 points.
What's surprising, he even runs.
Yeah, you don't know about that.
He just
But
like
no.
fast walks. He's just worried about getting his steps in.
He's ready to get his electric scooter real quick. He hides it under the basket. Well, yeah, we did leave off DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay. All right, so we're sorry about this, but our recording software actually just froze. It kind of broke, so that is a huge bummer. But we're just gonna leave off at DeMarcus Cousins being lazy. So.
What we were saying before is I was talking about how DeMarcus Cousins had he was like one of the laziest players in the entire NBA. He doesn't move from the paint. He doesn't move from the 3-point line. And I was saying that he actually, to get from side to side, he probably just used an electric scooter or something that he hides under the basket. That's how he moves around.
He's like a hoverboard and paints it to color the court.
Yeah, I need to move. I need to use it. Excuse me, sir. Why are your feet above the ground and not being used very much? It's none of your business.
Yeah, ref.
Yeah.
Scott Foster. Speaking of Scott Foster, let's move on to the Bucks.
Scott Foster.
It wasn't the Bucks that won the series. It was Scott Foster.
Scott Foster convinced the other refs to go against us.
And Chris Paul was literally talking to him before the game. He was like, "Man, I'm gonna offer you something you can't resist.
It's $4.
$4 and a bag of Takis." Like, dude, I would literally do anything
it was
for
$4?
that.
I got $6.
You got $6?
Dude, I should have given that.
Wow.
My bad.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
The whole Suns vs. Bucks series. Obviously, first 2 games was good. But there's no way to sugarcoat it. Giannis is just that good.
The Bucks didn't win the series. Giannis won the series.
I mean, was it game 4 where everybody else did kind of good? But, I mean, when one player has half your points, that seems kind of...
He had 50 points, and the rest of the team had 55. How do you consider that a team effort?
And it was Giannis. I feel like the Bucks' game plan was Giannis, drive to the basket, they're going to foul you.
Scott Foster's going to call it.
Yep, Scott Foster's going to call it, and your free throws are going to win us the game.
How did he turned into Steph Curry from the free throw line?
I know. The guy was grinding, dude.
It was like the free throws like when this when Wilt Chamberlain played, he shot 100% for the free throw line for a while.
He was 16 for 17 free throws in the last game.
Why? But do you know why Wilt Chamberlain did it? Because he dunked from the free throw line. That's how he did his free throws. He would just go and run and dunk from the free throw line.
That's illegal now, right?
Yeah, it is. But because Giannis probably could do that.
Easily.
But Giannis like, yeah, I'm basically just it's gonna be like I'm dunking it, or I'm gonna be making it as often as I dunk it, but I'm just gonna be shooting.
I mean, we talked about this beforehand. It's so hard to hate Giannis.
He's so good.
Like, he's such a great guy.
When you don't have enough money, you said this one. he doesn't have enough money before in his rookie season to actually pay for a taxi. And you can't really hate him like you can hate Beverly. Can't do it.
He's just such a good and likable guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I saw this story that his rookie season, he couldn't afford a taxi cab to drive him to the stadium, so he was running to Buck Stadium while it was snowing in Milwaukee. I don't know if those are the correct details. Like, he was literally running there, and an old couple saw him and asked who he was, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the new rookie for the Bucks," and he's like, "We'll give you a ride." In exchange, they got an autograph. I think that's worth it.
Now that's worth like $15,000.
Yeah. Imagine they just throw it away because I doubt he's any good.
Yeah. How could this guy be good? But if it's like the 80s, every player is getting rides to stadiums. They're just standing outside and they're just like getting rides to stadiums.
That's dangerous.
Yep.
They could just get like.
Go get in the white van.
Hey, we got a huge white van for all the players to ride in. It'll be so fun. You guys won't ever have to worry about basketball ever again.
They didn't have to worry about that back then. Now people are just stupid.
They're just built different. We're stupid, yeah.
We're stupid.
So, yeah, I saw Bleacher Report post this, and this hurt. It was a picture of the Suns in 4 guy, and it said, "How many games the Suns lost in a row?"
No, I'm getting that now.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Wow, Bleacher Report.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So...
We used to like you as a company.
No, let's talk about Chris Paul. I don't think this ruins his reputation. He still has a good career.
His reputation can't be ruined. He's never won it before, so... It's not like...
I don't know if he is going to last long enough to see another championship.
Well, the Suns are going to win next year, so it's fine. What I keep telling myself.
That's what I said about the Niners. And the injury season came. That's what's going to happen for the Suns. Because the Suns, they're doing really good. They got to the final game. They're doing very good in the first half or first whatever. Like the Niners did in the Super Bowl. Then they choked. Like the 49ers. And then they had their injury season.
You should say like.
And now the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl now. So the Suns will win the season after this one. So you should be happy.
Okay, that's a lot. The Niners aren't going to win the Super Bowl. But also, you should have said that a lot louder so everyone could pick it up. Of like the Niners choked.
I didn't need to say that loudly.
Yeah, you do. You should say it again. Like the Niners choked.
The Niners decided that we should let the Chiefs get their first Super Bowl.
They've already won one before.
Oh, well, the second Super Bowl. I mean, they lost in the first Super Bowl ever. That's embarrassing. To the Packers. Who are soon to be a very bad team.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I think the Packers have had the best quarterbacks of all time.
I agree.
It's Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Done.
Yes.
What else is there to say?
What about Jimmy G and Joe Montana sitting up there?
Joe Montana and Steve Young.
No, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers.
Y.A. Tittle. What's his name? He was also number 5. He's kind of a journeyman. Oh, well. Kaepernick also, I think, would have been really good. Alex Smith, Hall of Famer. Devin Booker. I think he's a stud. Aiden, I think he'll get better with time. And I think he needs to gain 30 or 40 pounds. Like Giannis did.
But Aiden, I absolutely hate what he said in the press conference.
Aiden?
Yes.
What did he say?
He was smiling after they lost Game 6, smiling, laughing, saying, "That was fun." Like, dude!
Well, at least he had fun.
Yeah. You know what Booker said? "This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me." Booker said, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know how to feel about this." And Aiton's on the other press conference like...
That was so fun, guys. Party on me. Let's go.
I mean, dude, you're so immature then.
He's 22. He's a baby.
Booker's 24?
Still, that's 2 years of experience. If we gave Aiden another 2 years of experience, I think he would have been much better.
Booker has never complained been the hardest worker, done everything for the community.
But you can't change somebody's personality.
Booker's the best guy.
You can't change someone's personality.
Booker.
Aiden is going to be the fun George Kittle of the Suns. He's a stud like George Kittle. He's the best center in the league like George Kittle's the best tight end in the league.
I don't want to say he's not the best center.
Yeah, see, I linked it now so you can't insult George.
He's the best center in the league, but he's not the best center in the league, and George Kittle is not the best tight end in the league.
Maybe like the second best.
Yeah, George Kittle is the second. You say that louder. George Kittle is the second best.
George. Moving on. Monty Williams, his press conference was really emotional. I got kind of sad watching it. But he seems like a really good guy, especially since he went into the Bucks locker room and congratulated all of them. I didn't like that Chris Paul, literally the second it was over, he walked into the locker room. I understand you're sad, it's the most important game of your life. But Devin Booker stayed out there for like 5-10 more minutes.
Chris Paul, I believe, had already congratulated Giannis. And sometimes what they do though, if it's a bigger deal, they do. I bet he did come back out and talk to him maybe behind the locker room.
Probably.
But he didn't. I don't think he wanted to have him be like shown just smiling, taking pictures with the Giannis and stuff. I think he was like, I'm out of here. I just lost an NBA Finals biggest game of my life. I'll see you behind the, or I'll see you guys in the back of the locker room or something.
Yeah, but you could still stay with your teammates. Like Booker stayed out there. I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, I think we can wrap that up. I mean, anything else you want to talk about the series?
I'll be back next year. Oh, we should talk about how what they could do to improve.
I honestly think this team just needs to get better with time. That's really it. I think they have a good team.
I think we might need a good defensive player like Drew Holiday. No, we're not getting Drew Holiday.
Yeah, no shot.
We're not getting Drew Holiday. But
if the Bucks are smart, give every single player a 10-year contract right now.
Yeah, besides Bobby Portis, I still don't like him either.
We just need to sign LeBron to like a 10-day contract, you know?
We should have. I mean, LeBron's like, wait, so you're going to sign me for a 10-day contract?
Maybe like $10?
Now, right? Like, 10-day contract now and I'll take $10 million. Wait, so I don't even need to do anything for you guys? And I get $10 million? Signed.
Just tell Aiden to jump a little higher and don't be scared. Yeah, I mean, I think Aiden will get much better with time. Okay, we'll move on. The new NFL rule. And I quote, NFL Network's Tom, I don't want to pronounce the last name incorrectly. Pelissero reported Thursday that the NFL sent a memo to its clubs, aka teams, stating that if a game cannot be rescheduled during the 18-week schedule due to a COVID-19 outbreak among unvaccinated players, the team with the outbreak will forfeit and be credited with a loss, per sources informed of the situation. Now, this, I think, it's a good rule, but at the same time, it's like, you kind of have to question it, because some teams are going to have more players that don't want to get vaccinated, and teams can't really control that.
And they have the right to do that, because...
I mean, it's their personal belief. I'm not going to go around telling people to get vaccinated or not, although you should get vaccinated. But
I'm not going to go around telling people, but you definitely should.
Yeah. I mean, people like Cole Beasley. I think locker rooms are going to end up being split.
Kind of.
Because Cole Beasley was arguing with one of his teammates about being vaccinated.
Was he saying he should or shouldn't?
Cole Beasley is a strong believer of not being vaccinated.
Oh, okay. I believe it's wrong, but they have the right to not be able to be vaccinated. Mm-hmm. I think they just have to be able to be safe like last year. Exactly. They weren't vaccinated last year, and it still worked. They rescheduled every game, which is a good job by the league, but they were able to play.
I think 100% you do you. You have your own choice, but if you are unvaccinated, you need to be way more responsible.
Way more safe.
And way more safe, and you have to accept that your schedule is going to be different than your teammates.
Yeah, like they're giving different rules for the different players. Like if you are vaccinated, you won't have to like be kind of contact traced really, in the NFL. They're like
And if
saying
you're
that
vaccinated,
you're
you're going to be tested way less.
If you're unvaccinated, you will be tested every day. I said, and you will be and you will be like in contact tracing. If you're tested positive, you're in contact tracing. You're out for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
And
so, if you're vaccinated, you're back in. So they're gonna make it so that you should be vaccinated. But if that's okay, you don't have to. We're not gonna force you to be vaccinated to play. But you have to be a whole lot more careful, and you're gonna have different rules than the other people.
yeah, they said about being vaccinated. They said, what was it? They said, wow, I'm like, oh yeah, they said that if you test positive for COVID and you are already vaccinated, if you have 2 negative tests, you are cleared to play. But like you said, if you're unvaccinated and you get COVID, you're gone for like 10 days, I think.
Yeah. And you're putting your
So that's a
teammates.
pretty big rule.
Yeah. What the quote says is that if a game cannot be scheduled due to a COVID-19 outbreak among unvaccinated players. If there's an outbreak with unvaccinated players, like they get it, they won't feel sick.
But there can't be an outbreak with.
So what vaccination is, you don't feel from it. You still have it, but you don't have get the cough symptoms. You still have it, but that could be the outbreak. But it's among unvaccinated players that have symptoms, and that's what it is. So if you're vaccinated, that you're not gonna end up having your team lose because it's among unvaccinated players.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of dumb that they're saying games can't be rescheduled now.
If a game cannot be rescheduled, they probably won't be. If a game cannot.
Well, think about this. What if both teams got COVID? Both teams have an outbreak. Do they just... Because they can't schedule a game for 10 days later.
They can reschedule a game.
But a week later? Over a week later?
Yeah, well, what they didn't end up doing is like they rescheduled like a game that was supposed like week 3. They put in like week 12.
Oh, true.
They can play whenever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You put them on like Thursday and then postpone a game to like Tuesday, and then you can just have those 3 games. Like you can have a game on. You can have a game like on Saturday, then you can go to a game on Thursday, and then you have a game on. Then you can go back to having a game on Sunday. And that's like.
I mean, we saw a game on every day of the week last year.
Yeah, that was good. That's fun to watch.
That was fun.
I can just come home and be like, hey, so do you know? Probably. There was 3 postponed this weekend.
Yes, sir. Okay, I think we're done with that. Moving on to the next topic. There isn't a lot to talk about this one, but the Cleveland Indians baseball team changing their name to the Cleveland Guardians. My first thought was, this sounds like a Madden expansion team name, which I think it does. I don't really understand how Guardians is related to Cleveland, but I do think it's good that they changed their name from the Indians.
It's like the football. It's like the Washington, or it's
like the Washington
Redskins.
Blanks, or as you said.
I guess everyone said it for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Say the name.
I don't know if it was said for hundreds. Anyways, apparently, a friend texted me and he said one of the name options was the Rockers because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. But Rockers, in my opinion, sounds a lot like Rockies.
Yes.
And today we have the Rockers playing the Rockies.
Well, and also with the Rockies, some people like. I have heard it's.
Why would you want to be like the Rockies?
No one should, but because they hit the ball far because they're ballpark. But the Rockies, I've heard it's not common for people to call them this. I heard one time someone just called them like the Rocks. Well, it's like just trying to make it short, like trying to like shorten their name a little bit. Well, they could do that with their Rockers. It'd be even easier to just make them be the Rocks or
Rocks versus Rocks.
Yeah, Rocks.
R versus R. Who's gonna win?
I mean, that would just be not very good to see. Oh, okay, Rockers versus Rockers.
But I mean,
which one do you say? Which for which?
Do you like the name?
I like the Guardians. I'm not completely following baseball a ton, but
just know Giants
are
the best.
Okay.
Unlike in football, but who really cares about New York Giants? They're like
one of the more popular teams in the NFL, but no one cares. No one.
Yeah, I agree. I like Guardians. I mean, it's better than the baseball team. You know how funny it would be if we had the Washington football team and
the Cleveland baseball team. Now we just need a hockey and basketball team.
In soccer. But then they call it the football team, American football.
They just call it the team. We're just gonna call you guys the team.
The boxing team.
The Washington football team's a terrible name, and they're considering keeping it. No, you don't keep a football team.
Well, I've seen some people be like, "Oh yeah, I like the football team name because it like takes away from soccer." Like, haha.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
I mean, so say you couldn't do Guardians. What other team name? Like, do you have any in mind?
No, I don't. And Guardians actually.
I mean, when I think of Cleveland, obviously I think of the Browns. But
yes.
What else is famous in Cleveland? Like, okay, let's look up. What is Cleveland known for? And if we look that up,
we definitely live in
the
Cleveland.
Forest City.
Forest. I think I'm talking about something about forest.
The Cleveland Forest, the Cleveland trees.
That sounds terrible.
The Cleveland trees, in my opinion, is not very good. The Cleveland Orchestra, they're known for. The Cleveland Notes, like music notes. The Cleveland Notes.
If you got jazz notes, isn't that much worse?
Cleveland Clinic.
No. Because
No,
you're naming
awful.
it after a doctor's office?
City Chicken.
No, okay,
The
we're
Cleveland
stopping
Chicken. Wait. Murals. Cleveland Art.
No.
Cleveland Cultural Gardens. So the Cleveland Plants. Yeah, the Cleveland Rockers. Rock and roll. Terminal Tower. The Cleveland Tower. Drew Carey. So I mean, they have the Cleveland Browns. They
have an actor, and they're famous for their actor.
They could have Cleveland Browns. They could have Cleveland Carey. And then Little Italy in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think
so. The Cleveland Italians. I think that's
definitely the best name. We're moving on now.
So we're now at the 40-minute mark. So this one's going to be a little shorter because we're now on our last topic. Let's talk about some fantasy football. Football is right around the corner. I know I'm very excited. I know you're very excited. Everyone is so excited for football. We all love football. We're all so excited to see the 49ers be the best. Yeah.
Probably.
So, in fantasy, what are your thoughts? Like, if you were to teach somebody about fantasy, I have a video coming out. It probably already came out if you're watching this about fantasy football, so go check that out. So
I need to steal your tips for your fantasy league.
Yeah. So
Grace releases every single person he wants to draft. Okay, so he wants to draft this guy in the first round. I gotta sabotage this pick.
Yeah, just your only purpose.
Like
you take a guy that I was gonna take in the 7th and like the 5th round or like 4th round.
That's a huge reach. I know. You wanted to pick him.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted Robert Tonyan in like the 8th? Well, I'll take him in the 1st.
He's gone.
Haha. First overall pick, Patrick Mahomes, Robert Tonyan. So.
You wanted Davis Mills in the last round? I can't let that happen. Davis Mills number 1 pick.
So I like to take wide receiver, running back, or just have your 2 starting wide receivers and running backs, and maybe a backup one, and then quarterback. I don't think it's smart to take a quarterback before then. Tight ends. Well, I'm not going to talk about this.
I got stuck with
Carson Wentz.
I got stuck with Carson Wentz last couple years. I'm willing to take a risk of going quarterback in the 4th round. 4th or 3rd.
I say 5th.
3rd if I can go get Kyler Murray though. I don't think he will be available. He went in the 1st round last year, and it was before.
That was a dumb draft.
But he won. He won the entire thing with Kyler Murray.
He did win. Yeah, so I say quarterback in 5th or 6th. So I did some research, just so you guys know. Some research: Xavier Jones, Denzel Mims, Deontay Johnson, Adam Trotman, and J.K. Dobbins might be some very good picks in your league.
Jonathan Taylor, if you can get him later, if you can get him mid-second round, steal, I think.
So I'll read you guys the players with the most receptions by team last year. So Buffalo, easily, Stephon Diggs. Green Bay, Davante Adams. Arizona, DeAndre Hopkins. The Raiders was Darren Waller. Kansas was actually Kelsey, not Tyreek. Chicago was Allen Robinson. Seattle was Tyler Lockett. I'm pretty sure it's been Tyler Lockett for like the past 4 years.
Really? Over DK?
Yeah, I think he's had more points than DK. Chargers was Keenan Allen. Pittsburgh was Juju. Carolina, Robbie Anderson. I love Robbie Anderson. Rams, Cooper Kupp. Atlanta, Calvin Ridley over Julio Jones, probably just because Julio got hurt.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Justin Jefferson. Washington, Terry McLaurin. New Orleans, Alvin Kamara. Houston, Brandon Cooks. Cincinnati, Tyler Boyd. I think somebody else will beat him this year.
Yes.
Marvin Jones for Detroit.
There's a certain person that got drafted this year that might
just maybe
take the...
Cleveland, Jarvis Landry. I think OBJ could beat him if he's healthy. Tennessee, A.J. Brown. Tampa, Mike Evans. Giants, Sterling Shepard. Miami, Devontae Parker. Indianapolis, Naheem Hines. San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk. Jets, Jameson Crowder. New England, Jacoby Myers. Jacksonville, Laviska Shenault Jr. Baltimore, Mark Andrews / Marquise Brown. They both had 88. And Philadelphia, Greg Ward. Now, I'll just quickly read this off, if you're fine with it. The most completions and attempts for quarterback was Matt Ryan, with 407 completions out of 626 attempts. Most passing touchdowns / touchdown percentage / interceptions was Aaron Rodgers with 48 touchdowns, 9.1%, 5 picks. Most rushing attempts / yards, Derrick Henry with 378 attempts, 2,027 yards. Most rushing touchdowns / first downs / rushing yards per average, Derrick Henry with 17 touchdowns, 98 first downs, and 5.4 average per carry. Do what you will with those stats.
Basically, what you're getting from that is Derrick Henry is an absolute beast. Take him every single time.
Yeah.
I traded for him in another league and he carried me.
I think he goes for another 2,000 yard season.
I was able to trade A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. I got Derrick Henry. And I got Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, that's a good trade.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
Yeah, because Jonathan Taylor was actually doing terrible, and then he just took off once I traded for him. The next week he got 45 points. Something like that. I'm like, good trade. And Derrick Henry managed it. And funny, I traded for Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry on 2 separate occasions and with 2 different people. And when I played against both of them in the playoffs, and in each game it was the person that traded me Jonathan Taylor got 45 against that to beat him. Then the next game Derrick Henry got like 40 to beat him. They got
That's perfect.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Now my sleeper is Davis Mills. He's drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, quarterback, Houston Texans. Awful team, but he is Tyrod Taylor's backup, which is a recipe for success. Happened with Baker touchdown maker, rookie of the year, Justin Herbert, and MVP Lamar Jackson. I think it's sad to say Tyrod Taylor will get hurt. Davis Mills will just become a stud. Again, this is all saying that Deshaun goes bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Deshaun.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So,
bye-bye.
Yeah, I take him in literally the very last round because don't want to take him earlier than that. Do you have any sleepers in mind?
I would say if you can also get A.J. Brown. He's not a huge sleeper, but if you can, he might fall in the 7th.
Seriously?
Do you think?
I see him in the 4th or 5th.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I think A.J. Brown has the Calvin Ridley effect.
I don't see that, but okay.
The Calvin Ridley effect is where your Julio Jones backup And everybody's so worried about Julio, even though he's not as good
Are
anymore.
you sure Julio Jones isn't AJ Brown's backup? Are you sure he's better now? AJ Brown made the Pro Bowl. He was great last year.
True. I don't know.
But he didn't got no attention. If you're not in a very good league, that hasn't. Yeah, if you're not in a very great league.
Pause it again. All right. Unfortunately, it got corrupted one last time. So this is gonna be the end of our podcast, unless you have anything else you want to say.
I was going to finish up what I was saying right before, real quickly. I was saying if you're in not a great league, or just a random league, you might be able to get AJ Brown like the 6th round, 5th round, and that probably could benefit your team wide receivers.
That's an absolute steal.
Yes.
So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for watching episode 2 of the podcast. Episode 1 will be on my second channel, link in the description. The alternate shadow, the name could be different, I don't know. Anyways, like I said, thank y'all so much for watching, and we're looking forward to recording our next podcast soon. And we'll see you all in the next one. Leave some ideas on what you want us to talk about in the comment section down below. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified every time we upload. We will see you all in the next one.